Hi everybody, and welcome back to Low Tide and High Proof, where the sun's hot, the drinks are cold, and we always tell time by the tide. So, week 3 of college football is now complete, and actually what I thought might be a rather mundane week had plenty of surprises, so let's jump right in. Saturday night in South Bend, Notre Dame held the lead late, and the crowd was ready to celebrate. But a mishandled extra point gave Texas A&M life. Marcel Reed led a 74-yard drive and on 4th and goal found Nate Burkirker for the winning score. For Aggie coach Mike Elko, returning to the place where he once ran the Irish defense, it was a personal redemption. This was A&M's first road win over a ranked team in more than a decade and one of the season's biggest upsets. So, is the sun setting on Notre Dame's season? I don't think so, but they really can't afford another slip-up. In Atlanta, a whiteout crowd wondered if Clemson would impose its will, but Georgia Tech had other ideas. Quarterback Haynes King played with urgency. On Tech's final drive, searing pressure built, but with defenders closing in, King stood tall. When it counted, kicker Aiden Beer, whose name many are still learning, drilled a 55-yard field goal as time expired, lifting Georgia Tech 24-21. All season long, King's been battling questions about poise. That night, he answered every one. This was an upset that ends a long drought against the Tigers for the Jackets, and it shifts the ACC narrative overnight. In Columbia, South Carolina, the history books were heavy headed into this one Saturday night. Vanderbilt hadn't won there in 16 years, and no one expected they would. But Vandy came in with hunger. Quarterback Diego Pavia calmly orchestrated the offense. Vanderbilt's defense, aided by Lenora Sellers' early departure for South Carolina, responded with turnovers. Early mistakes by the Gamecocks compounded. Meanwhile, Vandy's fourth quarter execution, a long run, and some opportunistic throws turned belief into reality. 31-7, not just a win, a statement. Vandy exercises a 16-year ghost in Columbia, and South Carolina has to look in the mirror. Everyone in the Rose Bowl expected the home team, with its big names and big expectations, to dominate. New Mexico, with huge underdog odds and minimal margins for error, flipped the script. Damian Bankston, quiet in preseason talk, exploded for 154 rushing yards and a touchdown, then helped seal the deal through the air. Jack Lane, under center, managed the game with precision. Meanwhile, UCLA's mistakes piled up. Penalties and stalled drives tilted the momentum toward the Lobos. Final, New Mexico 35, UCLA 10, one of the season's biggest upsets. The Lobos embraced their underdog role and completely owned the moment. Morgantown was revved up for the Backyard Brawl. Pitt came in as a modest favorite. History, rivalry, blood, sweat. What else could you ask for? WVU's Ty Edwards made it personal. 114 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, including the overtime winner. Pitt drove and led earlier, but penalties and a resilient WVU defense flipped the script. With 11 seconds left in regulation, Pitt tied it, but WVU answered in OT. 31-24. For West Virginia, this just isn't a win, it's reclaiming pride. For Pitt, it's a bitter loss and one they expected to take. Arch Manning entered the 2025 season with all eyes on him, a legacy name, preseason acclaim, and expectations through the roof. But early on, it's not just the hype that's showing. Some other quarterbacks are quietly making stronger cases. Take Cal's freshman signal caller, Jaron Sagapolutele. He's thrown for 780 yards, 8 touchdowns, and only 1 interception, and he's already picked up multiple ACC Rookie of the Week honors. He has led Cal to 3 straight wins, including a sharp performance versus Minnesota, 279 yards and 3 TDs. Meanwhile, Arch's start just hasn't matched that sheen. Critics say he's pressing, dealing with mental hurdles, and hasn't found the rhythm that most expected. In a season of upsets, it's not just about the name on your jersey. It's about performance on the field. And right now, Sagapolutele and others are demanding that we watch them and not just talk about Manning's potential. Two Power 5 programs made history Sunday, firing their head coaches just 3 games into the season. Rare moves so early, but that's life in today's college football. Virginia Tech let go of Brent Pry after a 45-26 home loss to Old Dominion. He opened 0-3 this season and finished just 16-24 over 4 years. UCLA dismissed Deshaun Foster after a stunning 35-10 defeat to New Mexico, a crushing blow as the Bruins enter the Big Ten spotlight. Interims are stepping in. Philip Montgomery for the Hokies and Tim Skipper for the Bruins. In the NIL and transfer portal era, patience is gone. Boosters expect instant results and programs demand quick turnarounds. For Pry and Foster, 3 weeks was enough to seal their fate. So those are my thoughts for this week. And what are your thoughts? What I miss? What I get wrong? Drop some comments below. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you for taking a few minutes to ride the tide with us today. And we'd really appreciate it if you could help us out by liking, sharing, and hitting that subscribe button. And as always, we will see you at the next low tide.